And welcome back to the show. So, Dust 2. The knife was won by G2, and as expected, they're going to be starting on the T side. In the words of Sponge, Dan, Fnatic got fisted, absolutely fisted in the previous map. Are they going to get fisted again, Dan? Is it going to be a double fist?
I don't know if the double fist is coming out, but it seems like it's quite likely, especially after what G2 showed yesterday. It's an amazing map for them. They win the knife to get to that T-side start, which is exactly what they're so good at. So Fnatic, again, they're stuck on that CT side. That's exactly where they lost the last map. And well, if Fnatic can play at T-side at this point, they are doing something right. So here you go. We've got the pistol round starting between these two teams. And G2 are going to open things up here with a bit of aggression into tunnels, but there is a Swede lurking nearby.
Business as usual for olofmeister. Normally aggressive on pistol rounds. Not going to be deterred by the previous map. Off to a great start there. Olofmeister, 2 kills, make it 3, make it 4! Olofmeister! That's the man we need to see here. shox, last man standing for the team. The bomb is lost. Olofmeister goes down. That team to 50 having better range in the Glock, but he can't do much more. Olofmeister coming into game 2 angry.
That is so amazing to watch, especially after that. You can see a little bit of a smirk there from Olofmeister, and he should be smirking because this was glorious. And at least they get to start with some money. That was something that plagued NIP when NIP were up against G2. NIP had like a similar situation where they could never get rounds or string rounds together. They were always fighting from behind economically. Now Fnatic have a better economy. All they have to do is just survive this round, the horde of G2, as they run in with those Tech 9s. And they do have a smoke grenade, so I mean, I would expect them to likely go for a B split with with a single smoke. That's usually how you get the most value out of a smoke, but they actually choose to use it on Xbox to obscure middle a little bit for the CT side. So they're going to be going up catwalk at the moment, and there's nobody in a direct vicinity there to defend it. So I have to see if Fnatic can get a good read on this, because if G2 get close, they're going to be dangerous.
Oh, we thought the jumping nade was coming in. Maybe it will now. Bounce off the wall. That's going to do big damage indeed. Goodbye, shox. How much more can flusha get? That UMP going to send bodyy down into the pits as well. 3 plays left here for G2. A good start on Dust 2 for Fnatic, and they need a good start. We saw the severe problems G2 gave NIP on G2's T side. Dennis needs to hold here. He's not going to get any frags, but flusha's coming back for more. Looking for the ace there, but he can't get the last frag, running out of bullets. And JW will finish things off there. flusha made a lot of money in that round. Yeah,
he made a lot of bank. He's got $5,600 already by the 3rd round, which is amazing. And he can keep that UMP going as well if they want to play a little bit greedy, because it is the next couple rounds, not just this one, which is going to feature G2 on a full eco, because they didn't even get the bomb down. And that was amazing there from flusha. He got the jumping dink and everything. Just beautiful. So Fnatic having a good start. This should be a free round for them. They shouldn't lose a single player. Should be able to build extra bank, extra security moving forwards. And interestingly, we have everybody sitting in a spot except the bomb James, which is going to be deposited by Dubourdeaux. What? What is that? shox walks in and takes down olofmeister.
Yeah, that is a very weird series of events. shox went down at low tunnel with the bomb just as Dennis pushed through B. And now he's in T-spawn, and he's finding loads of players there, Dan. It's like matchmaking! It's like matchmaking, Dan. There's a CT in T-spawn. The bomb's over towards tunnel. This is madness. I don't even know how to describe this. But the problem is, what can G2 do in this round? There's only one person down at the moment. The bomb's going back to T-spawn, Dan. The bomb is flanking a CT in T-spawn, where there are still 2 other Ts. We need Babam for a round like this, Dan.
What, sorry?
We need Babam
yeah,
for a round like this. SmithZz, last man standing now. And he's going to go down. Thank God that madness has come to a close.
I'm just here watching, just thinking. I just don't even understand how to interpret this. But it's over. We've made it through, guys. Together, we made it through that insane round. So 3-0, Fnatic now going to be up against a 4-buy. All the AKs are out. And Fnatic did well in keeping their economy up. And there's no AWP on G2, so that's going to be interesting how that dynamic will work for JW. Because they should realize this as well, which gives JW a little bit of extra leeway, because he knows that if he can take angles, and at worst case he's going to be against an AK, not an AWP, which is a big deal. And we're going to see G2 not actually playing a strict default here. They're just going to walk out mid really fast. This is interesting.
Yeah, they are walking with the entire man then. This is going to be a very fast B split. It's a nice pop flash coming in from Dennis. What can he do there with this MP9? Not much, because RpK coming in from the back to give his team a man advantage and the bomb site. This might be a safe situation already here for Fnatic. Smoked out of CT spawn. Going to be dangerous to push double doors, and indeed the save has been called here by the Swedes.
Yeah, that's a really smart round there from G2 as well, because they're likely also expecting to see that there's going to be an AWP in this round on the likes of JW, and you're not usually going to see JW just go and sit on B. That's going to be very unlikely, and starting the round out with the AWP in middle is also a little bit less likely, even though JW knows that he could probably take that peak because there's no AKs. It's still going to be tough for him to hold that range against all of AKs. So that's just a really good round if JW is playing A or middle. And now G2, they're going to be surviving with 4 players. And we saw this situation happen previously as well, where Fnatic were forced to these spots where they just had to go and save 3 guns over and over again, because the rounds, the entry frags are too fast. If Fnatic, to stop that from happening, Fnatic, their defenders on B must get kills, and then they can actually go for retakes, but otherwise they just have to save. It's going to be an awful situation if that keeps repeating itself.
So G2 saving some money as well. They didn't even need to leave the bomb site to save from save safely, because again their money wasn't in the right spot there, so they were not in a position to hunt too much just yet. Double AWPs now coming out for the Swedish side. Gonna have a 3-man long take coming in, and then we will see people rotate back, at least one towards the short position. See Lurker's outside. Look at olofmeister now, just giving his team, well, trying to give his team lots of information very early indeed, but not going to pay off on this occasion. Trying to get some good timing. Maybe it'll come into play a bit later on. I mean, the AWPs will need to pick up the slack here, as there's a lot of time for G2 to exploit this man advantage.
Yeah, JW could be in for a good time here. Perfect position. The flash comes in, but the timing is strong on JW. And bodyy is going to be dead. Now JW can reposition. But will G2 keep challenging? Looks like they could very well do that. Scream's looking for it. Got the nade out there. SmithZz on the angle. A shoulder spotted there for JW. He's ready and waiting. Will he get blocked off by grenades? No! JW with a clear shot there. Will take down RpK. The grenades go in, but JW is not stopping anytime soon. KRIMZ coming in to help out as well. And it's just going to be shox. 1 versus 4 with 45 seconds left. And the bomb down in the middle of nowhere. Dennis will push shox out of his misery, and Fnatic strike. And they're straight back in this.
Oh, she's come underdressed that. Good recovery here from Fnatic in map 2. Shout outs to Horn Guy. Love a good Horn Guy. Double AWPs continue here for the Swedish side. G2 having some money difficulties already. We said how important it was for them to save the weapons. They will have 2 AKs coming into this round, 2 Tech 9s and the Scout, or the Scoot if you're Sadikis. I think that's how he says it almost. Initial map control being taken by G2, again over towards the B area. Maybe with more numbers, and you see they have a slower approach here. I do wonder if that's because of the push that olofmeister had in the previous round. Either way, despite that early disadvantage for Fnatic, Fnatic doing Fnatic things, winning the round regardless. Now G2 are going to have a task on their hands, trying to make the best use of what little weapons they have. And again, it seems like it might be a fast B split, but this time the numbers are towards the tunnel. shox running distraction here. He's pulling all the players out of the bomb site.
Oh, but that is insane, Dennis. Nice flick. And now there's not enough progress onto the site. RpK is trying to change that. Able to take down flusha, but still yet more work must be done. How on earth did G2 get the bomb planted in this position? One thing they do have is a lot of time, but that's going to help Fnatic as well as they try to set up the flank, coordinate the double-pronged attack. As Scream watches the doors, RpK can help him get the plant here. But they're both in the same position here. This is going to be a little bit awkward for them to defend from. And Fnatic are now picking, or waiting to pick the perfect moment to come in and crush the G2 defenders.
Got JW lining up some grenades. Molotov going towards the headshot position. And the push is slowly coming in, being very meticulous, but JW comes on his own. Trades coming in though for the CT side. RpK alone now, needs to find himself some headshots, but he can't do it. Too many people coming in for Fnatic, and weapons will be saved. I expect KRIMZ will drop, he's dropping 1 AWP to olofmeister, and he will go and retrieve the second one. So both AWPs continuing here for Fnatic as well. Very important. This shot from Dennis is completely absurd. That is insane, the speed at which he did that.
Yeah, that was so much needed as well, because if he doesn't hit that shot, the bomb goes down straight away, and it's an entirely different situation. Fnatic don't have basically 30+ seconds to set up and take their time to go in for the retake. So that shot really made all the difference, and now the Fnatic side starting to get some momentum behind themselves. You know, everybody's starting to connect. olofmeister's top fragging along with flusha, 7 kills at the moment. So back to normal, and it's just going to be pistols here for G2, and it's going to be tough for them to get much done with this, but there are 2 Deagles on Scream and shox no less, and they're pretty dangerous at those, but shox will be neutralized early into the round, and the rest of G2 are going to try to move in here onto Dennis through the tunnel against an off. That's not going to happen. olofmeister there as well. Bodyy will get a sneaky frag out middle, but that is likely all that G2 can do in this round.
Bodyy should be taken down very shortly, and indeed he will be. By JW not going to rest on the laurels there. 4 versus 1, but they will continue, and they will get that final kill. Nicely done there by Fnatic. You have to wonder if this dominance can continue here by the Swedish side. Are they going to answer back from the dominating score of G2 by doing the same straight back to them? And it's really important they took down shox really early, because he has been a massive nuisance here for the Fnatic side. A big thorn in the side there. You saw it not overpass over towards short B. You see it through mid as well with the pistols. See if they can take him down early again. Double ops still for Fnatic. They've had double ops for quite a few rounds here, and it seems to be paying off for the time being. Waiting for a peak to come in. I believe it was G2 where you'd see Device on short on his own, because he always knew there would be a flashbang coming in lower tunnel. But G2 being a little bit less telegraphed these days, definitely mixing up their T sides as well as the CT side, and that's going to be really important, as if you become predictable, then you can be punished for doing so.
I really love how bold the setup is there from Dennis. He's going to go in there. The flick can't come in time. SmithZz was expecting that, and Dennis now is out of the round. It's going to be up to the remainder of Fnatic to hold things down with that aggression, that risk not panning out. G2 will continue trying to pick open holes in the defense. olofmeister is going to be met with a lot here. What? Great shot there from olofmeister. Oh, the nade is almost just as good. He gets a good chunk of damage there on 2 players, as now the push is trying to be set up from G2. They're starting to lose time here, but there is still a lot to work for as Scream drops in there and tries to go close to the riflers, but flusha comes in, great damage done, and it's just shox left. And flusha with the trio of kills closes down the round. Fnatic with a nice hold. olofmeister, key frag there.
That was really important that flusha came in. KRIMZ was close to the site around the car position, but he had no idea if there was a lurker towards long, so you can see him going backwards and forward, not sure which way to look. Does he support olofmeister? Does he try and keep an eye on a long split from coming in? But flusha helps them out with that, so very nice positioning by flusha. Good decision making there. 7-1. G2 continue to be dominated by the Swedes on Dust 2. Again, a map where G2 are super dangerous. When we saw them play against NiP, they always had the numbers advantages on their T side. They overwhelmed the CT defenses, but Fnatic are putting a stop to that ruthless aggression coming in. Again, the double ops continue here for Fnatic as well. G2 putting the numbers here towards the middle area. Maybe opting to try and suggest another B split here, but they've got nobody lurking in the tunnel. Again, shox has to be careful about not overextending, as he will expose himself to the B window if he tries to look too deep towards A. Oh, the 1D coming in. Goodbye, JW. It is an eco here for G2 that they're going to need more than that. But that might be the kill that allows them to go for a B push. You can see shox holding the angle, checking if anybody's going to come in for the rotation. Dennis will take 1 down, but the rest will try to move in on his position.
And Dennis, has he done enough? That's the question. He's going to lose his orb, and that's going to be happily received by SmithZz. And olofmeister's going to get a look in here. He's going to try a leave at the very least. SmithZz, though, off into the angle. Very nice timing for olofmeister to back out. He's going to pull out an orb. Orb versus orb. What you can do, I can do better. And now it's down to the Deagles of G2, and they lie in wait. The grenades will soar over the top here. olofmeister not done. What? Nice flick there from Scream, but that's not going to be enough here. KRIMZ and flusha to save the day. And the defuse comes in. Fnatic, they're going to have 8 rounds against the 1 of G2. That's exactly how you're going to come back against that awful first map. In fact, let's not even think about that first map.
And they still continue saving those. Oh, look at that. That sounds glorious. They still continue saving these double orbs. They've got a reasonable amount of money. G2 are doing damage to the economy, but they're not doing damage on the score. 8-1 now for Fnatic. G2 back on the full buy after the Deagle buy, after the Butcher buy. 4 AKs and an AWP. They've got a reasonable amount of nades. Not much in the name of smokes though, which means we might see a faster play from them. And indeed, they've gone for a long take. There are smokes, I think it might be a wall of smokes actually, towards the long area. And they're pushing. KRIMZ can't get back in time. He's going to get taken down. flusha heavily tagged as well. So there are problems here for Fnatic. A man down for both sides though. Both orbs still in play. That's going to be really important. Dennis looking over towards mid, trying to get some information for his team. Nice deep smoke there. That's going to cause problems for the T side. They're going to have to be careful about pushing shorts with their players, because that smoke's in an awkward position. You can see olofmeister can see quite a lot over the top. If they go for an Xbox jump as well, you can see that. So that's going to slow down the G2 side.
Yeah, and they will be making their way now forwards. As Fnatic lie in wait with those double orbs of theirs. G2 looking to maybe get into middle. It would be really nice to get some information to confirm that it's that 2-2 split, which is generally the most common reaction from a CT side. When you lose that first man, you're going to put 2 on B, 2 on A. It's harder to take risks, and if you do lose an extra man by doing so, it's very likely at that point you're going to lose the round. So G2 know that middle is likely up for free. And there is a smoke that's going to basically tell Fnatic what's going on. It's the B split, but there's Dennis ready behind the crate. The first round comes in, bides his time, but Scream will still be undenied. It's up to olofmeister with the AWP on the sides. First shot connected. One more player. That's all he needs to find. Scream gets the headshot though. 1-on-1 for him. Looking for that 1 versus 1. The next one against JW. He's got 15 seconds to play with, but he's just going to go for it.
Second round on the board for G2, and this is still a recoverable half. This could still end 8-7. Fnatic though going to come out for the full buy, and this is a massive round for G2, because Fnatic didn't have that much money in the bank, and they don't have almost anything left after coming in for this rebuy, going for those double orbs again. So if G2 can win this round, they can break the economy of Fnatic, and then they can start the comeback trail. So despite the dominating score at the moment, by no means is this half one here for Fnatic.
Yeah, now JW's playing from short with the AWP, trying to keep himself unpredictable, and SmithZz is straight into long, but this could be very dangerous indeed. He's pinned down. Oh, he's able to actually get a frag as he moves back out of there. That's a pretty good result considering his position. And JW's still waiting in middle as well. So this setup is really cool from Fnatic. They've got Dennis also towards the double doors. They're looking in towards middle. They've got JW's got a lot of information towards Catwalk. He's going to see that first grenade there. So he should be able to get a shot off as G2 are going for the take of Catwalk. But it's very hard sometimes to back away from this position. He's got to be careful. Oh, what a shot from JW. He's so fast, and he gets out of there.
Yeah, the numbers game. Bodyy is collateral damage there. Technically baited by his teammate. So G2 looking to suggest a B split from coming in, but the bomb's still in the middle area. They're just positioning now, RpK going over towards the tunnel. So man advantage for Fnatic. Again, this is a very key round for both teams. 2 players per site, very isolated over towards A, but Dennis gets taken down towards B. 1 more to find in olofmeister. Gonna reposition under the window, but he's exposed to the tunnel, and he's gonna go down as well. 2 more to find here for Fnatic. They cannot afford to lose this round. Neither team can afford to lose this round. Sweets coming in now for the retake.
This is going to be pretty important for KRIMZ to get this frag. Scream is in a great position. The off angle is too strong, and so is Scream. JW down to a position where he has to get the quad kill if he wants to clutch this one, and he sure as hell is going to be going for this smoke in to give him a bit of extra space to work with. RpK in the corner, waiting for JW to move forwards. What? Yes, he connects there. Oh, so close. RpK just toying with JW. There's no way in at this point. He's going to have to back off and save the AWP. What a horrible situation to be found in. But that was just down to the brilliant play of G2. Not over peaking, just playing it just right to secure the round. And very important one. As you highlighted, the economy was terrible for both teams, but that's going to give a decisive advantage for G2. That's exactly the round they needed to pick up, and now they can really get the round strung together as Fnatic are in a poor economic situation, but they're actually going to force it up here, so the battle is not won just yet in that sense.
Yeah, the forces coming in for Fnatic, but opportunity knocks for G2. Can they get themselves a reasonable score in this half? It begins here. Now it's the T side's turn to start with double orbs. That would suggest a slower round here for Fnatic, but they'll need these rifles to come in. SmithZz taking JW down from T spawn. Scream's going to clean up KRIMZ towards short. So 2 very early frags here for the G2 side. Those are strong frags. Still plays in low tunnel as another short push comes in here from Fnatic, who are putting their eggs over towards the A basket, and B has been abandoned. 2 plays over towards B for G2. They could walk into it with a crossfire there, and it seems RpK is going to be the man to see if anybody's holding an angle. So we should see G2 moving into B shortly. The bomb's still in T-spawn at present. Again, G2 being very, very careful, not going to overextend on the anti-eco rounds. Pacing themselves really well there, which is great to see.
Yeah, they really use all that time to give them the most security possible, and it's going to work very wonderfully. Olofmeister going down, they're not even really with the chance to make an engagement, and Scream super fast, as always. And then it's now the last man standing. And that was a really important frag from Scream, because flusha was holding on to the AWP, and that is now long gone. So let's see if Dennis can get something. Another tag from Dennis. And I mean, it's really smart if Scream doesn't decide to go for this. He tries to do it with the flashbang, and that's going to work. Really nice flashbang, and it's going to be a clean round there from G2. And again, you can't really emphasize enough how important it is that G2 use the time in the way that they do to make sure that they have really favorable engagements so that they don't lose any players when Fnatic are on a half buy like that. It really goes the distance, and you can see that their money is now in this really good spot. And Fnatic are down to another save round.
Indeed, so 8-4. The score is semi-reasonable already. And it looks set to only get better here for G2. Are they going to go for a fast play in? Well, going to creep in. So far, so good here. Fast trade. Dennis playing close, but they won't be too bothered about that. The bomb site's been taken. They've got shox in position with an AWP to watch for any rotations coming in as well. Players close to the tunnel, so they can help shox move into the site should he need to. JW comes in to try and salvage something from this round here for the Fnatic side. Obviously, body's gun is in the B bomb site, so that's not going to be retrieved anytime soon by Fnatic. And they will set up to try and play for some exit frags, trying to steal away an AWP, perhaps a rifle. Again, there's not much to hunt for here for G2, and they can save their weapons inside the sites to avoid running into any shenanigans here for the CTs, but run they will towards T-spawn, which is good because shox was there the entire time, so safe passage has already been secured here for these CTs.
Yeah, it's again another really efficient round from G2. Fast anti-eco into that B-bomb site. And, well, actually, KRIMZ is going to survive with a P250, so that's not really a big deal for G2, as they have the double AWPs, and that's going to be really fun to see. I wonder if, again, we won't see double AWP from Fnatic as well. They're very good at playing that too, obviously. Pretty much everybody on Fnatic can AWP very well. And this is going to change how the round plays out a lot here for G2, because you would expect a bit of a slower round looking for those picks, trying to engineer situations like that. And shox is one of the 2 AWPers. He's got a really fast spawn towards long here. See if he can get the pick onto one of the 3 players that's there, but it looks like he's just going to hold off. There are the pre-nades set down by Fnatic, and that's going to get the Fnatic players into position defensively on A long.
Yeah, shox tried to bunny hop into position, but he didn't get the timing right, so he chose to avoid the idea, which is smart. Doesn't need to take such a risk. Again, the G2 have just, in the last 2-ish months, they've made so many changes. They've observed their own habits that other people had been observing and tried to eliminate them. Changing the pace in this game has been good with these double AWPs as well. But again, Fnatic are back on the buy now, so things get a little bit more serious here for G2. 8-5, 2 rounds remaining in this half. No entry just yet. shox avoids the shot now, and he holds the superior angle. And that's a really smart attempt, at least. He hears the smoke coming in. RpK tries to punish in time, but KRIMZ will be the one to get the frag. Picks up a superior weapon as well. 45 seconds left, and G2 need to find an opening here.
Yeah, and I love that they took a risk there on A long, because they're taking a risk to get an advantage, and, well, it didn't work out this time, but it's still okay. They're the T side, but they're going to have to take bigger risks now, as we have shox looking for the opener with that AWP. There's a nice snap onto JW, but the trade comes in. flusha in position, unbeknownst to shox, who will suffer for it, and now it's a 2 versus 3 with 25 seconds left, and no, the bomb's been lost. SmithZz is so far away. That is surely the round now, as they can't, I don't think it's possible physically for SmithZz to get to the bomb and get to a site at this point, so he's just going to probably hold on to this AWP, and Fnatic going to be up onto 9 rounds, but SmithZz be able to survive. Oh my god, just instantly tapping down KRIMZ with the Tech 9.
Yeah, G2 not getting an opening fast enough. Spread them out. Frags came in for Fnatic in the wrong places for G2. And then madness ensued. Last round of the first half here. G2 coming back with 2 AWPs and a scout as well. Snipers galore. 1 AWP on the Fnatic side for the time being. olofmeister, I'm presuming there's a gun on the floor for him and he's going to pick up an AK. So just the 1 sniper here for the Fnatic side to see if G2 can deliver. Okay, so Scream went for the scout at the beginning, but he had an AK as well. Much more sensible. 3-man take of long here for the CT side, just to secure it in case there's any fast aggression from G2. And again, it's a standard early layout here for the G2 side with a number of people over towards B Hall. So it's a 2-1-2 setup here for Fnatic. G2 struggled to get an opening frag in the previous round for the longest time. We'll see how they try to open the can in this run.
Yeah, this setup right now is going to be a bit stronger for Fnatic, for the CT side, to defend against B splits, because the rotation towards B is not as long. flusha can really help to delay. Even if he gets smoked off, he can slow things down, and that can allow JW and KRIMZ to get in, but there's going to be an entry, and depending on how fast this is, depends on how many problems Fnatic are going to have. Dennis, oh, it's so important for him to get something, but he won't get a single thing. Now it's up to flusha. He knows he's got to push, he's got to make some frags right now, but he's so blind and disoriented. He's got teammates though, and the smokes are going to work out really well here for Fnatic. flusha is safe somehow, and he's going to be really close, knocking on the door of the B bomb site as the bomb goes down. And flusha goes straight in, but straight down he'll go as well. And just like that, everyone is dead. It's up to JW against 5. He's got an AW key, but he no longer has a life. 9-6, great comeback there from G2. It looks like Fnatic had an unstoppable level of momentum, but...
Oh, it's an elephant.
Oh, really?
It's an elephant, that. Why are the police here?
What a revelation.
Anyway, 9-6, G2 bring back a reasonable score here, and that's very important. That's dangerous for Fnatic as well. They know that G2 have an opportunity now to take this to 2-0. Their backs are going to be up against it despite the thin 3-round lead. Going into the pistol, that 3-round lead could easily disappear. G2 will now have the range advantage on their pistols. So we'll see which way it will go. olofmeister topping the scoreboard now for Fnatic at the moment. 17 frags in that first half. A stark difference to Overpass.
Yeah, Scream up there with the frags as well. And he's looking to make some more. The first headshot comes in, the second one as well. And Scream is going to back away a little bit. But he's not done. More engagements to be found as the quick push comes in from Fnatic, and KRIMZ wants revenge. A 2 versus 5 already, and Fnatic haven't gained any control of the map. This is a terrible start here for Fnatic, all thanks to this man here, Scream. Looking to get more killing done with that USP. Can he find somebody? There is one more player just toying with them in middle, but KRIMZ and flusha will find their way towards the A bomb site. But now they've got to deal with SmithZz, but it seems like that's an easy task. Dispatching SmithZz, RpK the next man to stand up against the Fnatic aggression, and stand up he will. Both frags, and the round finished off there for G2.
That is a huge first round in the second half here for G2. There's a very good chance we're going to go to 9-9 here, but what do Fnatic have in store? No bomb plant in the previous round, so that means they're going to go for the force buy. Scream doing great work here while RpK takes on olofmeister elsewhere to put G2 off to an early start indeed. A good start early. So 9-7, G2 going to be going for the SMGs with just the 1 M4 onto RpK. Lots of grenades for G2 because of those SMG buys. Again, Fnatic with the force buy going for a bunch of pistols. Got a Deagle, some P250s, a CZ, the Tech 9, all the bits and bobs. Waiting for the short smoke to come in. Scream going for a bit of a pop flash there. He's going to get wrecked at close quarters here by olofmeister.
It's all good though. He only had an MP9. And now Fnatic will divert their attention towards that A bomb site. But there are 3 CTs in the vicinity looking to lay waste upon the terrorist insurgency into this A site, and so far so good. shox with a double on the UMP, and it's only going to get worse for Fnatic surely, but no flusha coming in with that Tech 9, finding 2 headshots, and all of a sudden Fnatic might just win this round. Wow. flusha just dropping in.
That is ridiculous, flusha! He went for at least 2 bomb attempts there and was like, no, I could try and secure the bomb. Worst case scenario, no, I want to win the round. That is massive. And completely absurd.
That's why the police are here, James.
That is why the police are here, flusha. 3 rounds ahead now, and that is a round G2 could not afford to lose there. They were on the comeback trail, they were in a good position to even things up, but flusha has other ideas. A crazy 4K over Tech 9 from flusha, and he got there were 2 sets of 2 kills there when he was about to plant the bomb as well. Pretty crazy stuff, and that's a hard eco for G2 for the most part. 2 plays of Kevlar, 5-7 and a deagle. 3 deagles in fact. G2 looking for the meat shots here. Fnatic, now it's their turn to show their patience, waiting for G2 to hang themselves, waiting for them to walk the plank, and they'll push them off the final steps if they need to.
Yeah, and G2 definitely giving a lot of cause here for all those people who have hopes in the in the Fnatic Luminosity final. G2 are giving those people cause to worry right now. The Fnatic doing pretty well so far on Dust 2, and that's going to be the first frag made onto the screen. Not finding much with his deagle, unfortunately for him. But there's still shox with a deagle as well. And bodyy, actually. Bodyy is pretty damn good with a deagle too. So it should be quite fun to see if they're able to get some good engagements here. And unfortunately for bodyy, he's not got much action in store. It's going to be the long push for Fnatic with the AKs. Again, it's much like the long push on Overpass as well. The smart anti-eco play from Fnatic.
So they're taking the range, but SmithZz is going to ring Dennis's bell there. Good start for the CT side. shox playing the bait position as well. And the plant's coming in from flusha. This is a bottom set that. No plant just yet. Man advantage for Fnatic. They can still clean this up, but shox is making a big nuisance of himself. Last man standing now, and he will finally get taken down. 4-round advantage now for the Fnatic side. We've got some Brazilian fans in the house. They have to come a bit later on. First, we'll see who takes this semi-final. G2 4 rounds down, 1 game up on the eco.
And it's pretty amazing in the whole season of ECS how far G2 have come, because at the beginning I wasn't even sure if they were going to qualify, and here they're looking like they could be in finals form. But the quick anti-eco coming in for Fnatic, trying to take down long control, but it's not going to work out too well. flusha is going to find himself dead and his gun on the floor for any CT to pick up. SmithZz is going to grab that. It is only a Galil. It's not too bad. And the main push now is going to come into B. Olofmeister and Dennis will be opening up that one, and the bomb will go down. So it should be pretty smooth sailing, pretty much smooth sailing from this point forwards in this round for the 12-7.
Bombs down, and we'll see what G2 choose to do. Will SmithZz try and hold on to this weapon? Seems that they don't want to give the extra money to Fnatic, perhaps, or they're setting up for the exit frags, but there is somebody waiting in T-spawn, and that's KRIMZ, holding the angle. He will soon see players coming in his direction. There we go, SmithZz up first, and that's the Galil lost. You should expect somebody to come with that. RpK has picked it up. Good armor penetration on the Galil. It's better than an M4 if I remember correctly, but it's been lost again, so never mind. shox now, last man standing. Nice, 1 dig there, 1 more to find as well from Dennis who will trade. No M4 picked up for you, Mr. shox. 12-7 now, 5-round lead from Fnatic. They require 4 rounds to bring this to the 3rd map.
And what a 3rd map it would be as well. It's Cash James. That's going to be a really fun one if we get there. So I hope that we do. I'm sure everyone is rooting for that one. And AWP versus AWP flusha on the AWP initially here for Fnatic. Have to see where he's going. He's looking like he's going to want to take the initial pick towards long. He's got a great spawn for that. So let's see if he can get something out of it. Of course, typically we're going to see the pre-nades here from G2, but he's fast. Smart from G2 not to peek prematurely there. And they will not be punished, as there was nothing to punish. They play it correctly. And now Fnatic go for the play into the double doors, get some information. Also clear out any player that's waiting very close, as you don't want anybody getting free information on your team. And now Fnatic have pretty much taken all the basic map control and information you expect from your Dust 2 default rounds.
The G2 are they're in a reasonable position to have a hold here over towards A. Now, SmithZz against NIP was a problem. They were unable to keep him blind in this position, and he got a lot of frags from here. Fnatic may have a better time of it, although actually they have 1 flashbang right now on this execute, so they might be in for a tough time as well. They're going to need to put in a lot of work here Do wonder if they're going to go for a bit of a cat drop. We've got one lurker towards double doors as well. Smith fires off the initial shot. And again, those are the flashbangs gone now for the T side. Smith starts to look for people to take down. That's KRIMZ. He's going to be the first one. There's a player on Goose as well for the CTs here. So again, this can be a very strong hold. Indeed, Smith takes on Dennis as well. Bombs on the floor. And the clock continues to tick. And now shox shows himself from the Goose position. 2 players remaining here for Fnatic versus the 4 of G2. And Smith is still out and about. No grenades left. It's a gauntlet run coming in for Fnatic.
Absolutely, and the gauntlet features shox. He's waiting behind this crate, waiting for the perfect moment to peek. flusha is actually going to drop down and see if he can get an engagement that's more favorable. And it might work out very fast. Has to hit the no-scope. Doesn't have a chance to reload. shox straight in there. And that's going to be 12-8 now as Fnatic are going to be very worried about the double AWP setup that's going to be in store for them. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out, whether G2 are going to do some sneaky aggression. SmithZz, we saw him versus NIP yesterday, absolutely beasting on the defense from the car position. That was really fun to watch. Now, let's see where SmithZz and bodyy go. Looks like body's going to get tagged straight away going towards that B bomb site by olofmeister. He's got no Kevlar, by the way, with his AWP, and no grenade, well, just one flashbang. So a bit of a D4 here from both teams. No one's willing to take any early round risks at this point, it seems.
If Fnatic want to take A, they are going to need a lot of flashbangs there. SmithZz is hitting his shots today, all this entire week actually, and he's causing big problems for T sides moving towards the A bomb site. G2 only 4 rounds behind. If they can keep Fnatic on 12 for a while, then who knows where this will go. olofmeister needs to be quick on the trigger finger here. He has no Kevlar to go with this AWP, the 3rd on the map. AWPing against 2 AWPs with no Kevlar could be quite tricky for him. And again, Fnatic moving into position now. And they've got KRIMZ close over towards the long doors, smoke disappearing, and RpK starting to move back. So we might see a bit of a duel there later on. 45-second mark now. And the setup from G2 is weaker over towards A than it was in the previous round again. G2 making sure to keep changing their formation, keep Fnatic guessing.
This is going to be really fun to see, actually, because flusha might just go for the drop into CT, and it can be very, very difficult to deal with sometimes, unless you expect it. And flusha also looking for the peek over the smoke, and shox, he is so key here. He's going to be sandwiched between a lot of players. They know that a player could be in this spot. shox just waiting now for the perfect moment to strike, but he gets shot in the back by olofmeister, and all of a sudden a trio of kills coming in from G2. Scream standing tall there outside the bomb site, and now it's down to Dennis, but he has not got any time. And there you go. SmithZz picks up the final frag, and it's another round for G2. 9-12 for them. Still a ways to come back, but they facilitated that comeback because there's no money left on Fnatic at this point.
Indeed, Fnatic have been put onto the eco now. And there isn't really much money for them to even buy that many deagles or anything like that. Try and get a nice opening into the round. Dennis is going to pick up a deagle. Other than that, it is 4 Glocks here. So this should be a non-round for Fnatic, although Dennis is very dead. Never mind, he's dead. And the Fnatic team should get cut down quickly, 1 by 1 here. Although there was a round yesterday where CTs pushed long and died to Glocks somehow. But I can't imagine that's going to happen again here.
I don't remember that round.
I don't think it was in the one of the games Henry and Matt were casting. But Janko was mentioning it.
I'm sure if I would have seen it, I would have struck it from my memory anyways. Either way, right now, it's going to be just a formality as all the kills are picked up here, one after the other, and it's done. 10 rounds for G2 now, only 2 behind Fnatic. And Fnatic can get their buy-in again. Now, we haven't, I think we saw this against NIP as well. G2, they didn't really take too many risks, although they had a lot better of a position to do that against NIP because they had such a big advantage round-wise, big buffer to work with, as well as a really big economy. Both teams at the moment don't really, I mean, Fnatic have $0 in the bank. G2 have around 4 to 5K because they won the last couple rounds. So no one's really incredibly secured in the economy, and we're getting late into this second half as well. So these are going to be key rounds moving forwards to really set up the victor or the people or the team with the best chance. And Fnatic just playing out of default again. G2 playing more or less the same setups we're seeing time and time again from them. giving shox that middle spot, which is one of the hardest spots to play because you've got to be very dynamic. You've got to get the information, you've got to communicate well with your team. And G2 might be thinking at some point to go for an aggression into upper dark to get some information. Bodyy and Scream playing very close to the tunnels. But here goes Fnatic. What can they find in middle?
Can they put that smoke down, which helps them look over towards the A site. shox getting traded, got information before his team, and now he can direct the rest of the pieces here on the CT side. KRIMZ still lurking outside the long area, so with olofmeister over towards B as well. Fnatic could still go either way. They don't have anybody around the doors or a short position at present though, and indeed KRIMZ is starting to look over, but RpK going to hold him down. He is a headshot machine as well as Scream. Smith's coming in for support as well, flashing for his teammate, and he's going to take down flusha. So the push running out of personnel here for Fnatic. SmithZz is back over towards the car position, flashed by olofmeister, but can they take him down? He can always reposition there toward that car position. JW trying to do what he can now. We've got RpK coming in for support. Going for a desperate plant, worst case scenario, gets ticked off by JW. Now, how much damage can he do for his side? Running out bullets here, and that's going to allow the CDs to come in. We've got 4 now versus 1. JW with 2 fast frags. SmithZz is tagged as well, and he's going to get taken down. There's one more to fight. JW's on 1 HP, going for the reload, but Bodyy doesn't punish this yet. He's pretty close, and he will take the round for his team. 12-11 now, G2 closing the gap.
That was very worrying, wasn't it? JW almost just getting the full clutch there. And bomb plant, with all the damage, it's really cool because G2's economy was really at risk at that point. They got to go for a full rebuy. This gives Fnatic on their next buy a real solid chance to get the ecos running again in for G2, which is really important. Having that pressure, high pressure situation, and I can't believe he got this far. Well, either way, it's going to be a 1 round that is the difference between these 2 teams now. And Fnatic do have a decision to make because they have $3,700 on 4 players, only 5,000 on 1, so it's not really enough to go for the buy just yet.
All right, so we're going to introduce a new feature during this tactical pause called Rank Cam. So I'm going to pick a player from the crowd and see how good you are at Counter-Strike. It's coming in closer, but where is it going? So this hairy trap. Let's see what your rank is, sir. Oh, Gold Nova.
Dear.
Gold Nova.
Not even the badge, James. Not even the police badge.
He's almost as bad as you, Dan.
Wow.
Well, sir, may the road to Legendary Eagle be a great one. Now, Fnatic are in a very difficult position because a lot of their players could only, if they went for the buy here, they could only buy pretty much an AK armor and no nades. So they've gone for the half buy. They've gone for the pistols and the grenades. They've gone for a potential to execute 2 smokes and tons of flashbangs. What are you expecting there?
Well, it's always very possible to win rounds like this, but because there's no smokes, I won't expect the A set piece. So you need smokes for that. Honestly, you need smokes for pretty much everything, James. They don't have any smokes. Well, it might not matter. Scream is going to be removing the ability to make decisions out of their hands by just fragging all of them. So, shox holding down the A side. Looks like Fnatic just running and gunning all over the place. That didn't seem very coordinated from the Swedish side. Bit of a strange round there. Again, no smokes.
They bought like 10 flashbangs
but
and 2 smokes and then just ran out and died.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. It's unfortunate for them, but here we go. 12-12 now. G2 finally evening the score, and the buy comes back out here for Fnatic. The AKs and the nades. Hopefully we'll see a better use of the nades in this round. No AWP for JW. SmithZz will be the sole sniper for this round.
All right, so it's actually not the default we're used to seeing here because we've got 3 towards B right now for G2. So G2 mixing things up a little bit. Perhaps expecting a change of pace from G2 shox, who's usually going to be that man in middle. He's actually at the guy position towards car here because SmithZz, who usually has the AWP, is, as we can see, is in middle with that AWP. So that's the big change here in setup from G2. Now, will this catch Fnatic off guard? They have been clearing out middle a lot, and SmithZz tries to time a shot there. It's not going to be good this time around as Catwalk is taken over by Fnatic. And we have the more usual positions taken up by G2. SmithZz back towards Car with the AWP, where he has become quite prolific this tournament.
Oh, look, they're putting the rotation away. They're trying to get SmithZz to go towards long with the wall of smokes there, but he is staying towards the car position for now. Takes down Dennis, but we've got players on the side here for Fnatic, so they've crossed the Red Sea, Dan. 2 players on the site now. They've got the bomb down, and they've still got lurkers towards long. G2 in strong positions, though, reasonable strong positions. KRIMZ has control of short, and again, that flank towards long is going to be really important. There are still 2 CTs there. They're trying to play the clock in this retake. Frags coming in very quickly, though. 3 versus 2 now. flusha has more work to do here on the site, but he can't do much more. And KRIMZ is the last man standing now. He's got no nades to try and do damage to that bomb, and they're going to force his position through the smoke. The meat shield coming in. The nade will do the job. G2 take the lead.
Yeah, that was a really nice retake there from G2. Of course, they had a lot of patience going into that one, and they read it pretty well, and they did the kind of usual thing where it's like, okay, we recognize that we have to kind of give up the bomb site, and then they go into long, and then they can get that really solid 4-player retake, 2 from long, 2 from catwalk, and it works out really nicely for them. And the really key thing there was that JW, he wasn't able to get any damage on the flank, and that's something else that you're allowed, that you can allow for when you have 2 players on long like that. You can deal with the flanker much more easily. So G2 really playing some very good CS here on Dust 2, and they've got 3 players towards Dark. They want to push it here. We haven't seen much aggression from G2 almost ever. This is one of the first rounds we'll see that. SmithZz goes in. Can he make it work? No! olofmeister gets the headshot there, expecting it. And there's still yet more work to be done here. olofmeister sees the second player, but will that first frag, will that kind of sell that maybe there's only 1 player there? Because that's what G2 want. They want Fnatic to push into their 2-man setup, but they're not going to do it. Fnatic are smarter than that. They're going to take the 1-man advantage and the time they have on the clock.
Well, shox goes down in the middle area, and this looks like a good round for Fnatic coming up. CT's out of position towards A, and it might be difficult for them to get anything else done in this round. Their money's not spectacular at the moment. It's an important frag by RpK, but they're going to need more, otherwise they might have to choose to save here. Well, there we go. Scream getting another headshot. Now it's a 3 versus 3, and they've got all the time on the clock. Smoked out from CT. They can try and go for a short retake. There's 1 player there in JW. It's not easy to get these frags if somebody jumps onto Xbox. They can duck straight away. So we will see. There's still a little bit of time. He spots a player there, and he's going to retreat. He knows how difficult that position is. He'll take a stronger one. Big flash coming in, though. Down goes JW, down goes KRIMZ. The retake is real here. olofmeister versus 3. He needs headshots. Only finds the 1. G2 with a very strong retake in an unlikely situation.
Yeah, the bomb did go down. That's going to be a help for the money of Fnatic, but this is starting to get really bad. They actually have the mass loss bonus of $3,400, and with the bomb going down, that's going to be $4,200 for that round. So they can buy in this spot. But G2 are getting very close now. They're 2 away from eliminating Fnatic and denying all those people that want to see Fnatic in the finals against Luminosity.
That was a 5 versus 3. And they survived with 2 players. They lost 1 player in a 5 versus, in a 3 versus 5 retake. That is massive, and you can see what it's doing psychologically to Fnatic, who are wondering what they need to do to take rounds over the line here. G2's round lead extends to 2 here. Fnatic looking to get an early pick over towards B. You can see Dennis looking for somebody to jump on the ledge behind the red box, which bodyy will do now once the smoke has gone down. So initial map control taken. No early picks for Fnatic. And again, they're limited on the grenades. They've got more flashbangs this time if they're trying to force SmithZz from his position. shox back to the middle area. SmithZz playing deep for the time being over towards long. Again, G2 just constantly trying to both read what Fnatic are trying to do and just mixing up their own formation to remain unpredictable. And G2 are a team where their T side at the very least was very habitual. And they realized that, changed it up, and we see that on their CT side as well.
And now it's Fnatic with that control on catwalk. And right now, they haven't opted to clear out close middle, and there is a player close middle to worry about. It's actually shox of all players, so that could be something that comes into play in a moment. We'll have to see if Fnatic will go back to mess around with that. And I mean, right now, the play that they're looking at is just a straight up A split right now, but only 1 player on A long. So SmithZz should have a lot of cover here. Oh, he gets 2 with 1 shot! SmithZz, such a good result. And G2 3 versus 3 now as we get some trades coming back in for Fnatic. shox, you can see he's holding it down, playing it patiently by elevator, waiting for his teammates to come in before he makes a move.
Yep, he knows short should be clear for his teammates. They're both coming in from there, so we'll see how shox can play with these players. There's 1 flash here. We see people getting their bell run. Down goes Dennis. Trades though from JW, and there's that flash. That 1 flash that the CTs have is gone now, and shox is going to have to be scared of the long area. Scream with the headshots. That is a big frag. KRIMZ responds with the AWP. Scream with 20 HP. Where is the bomb planted? Is he going to be able to do this? I think it might be for double stack there. KRIMZ will need to go to the platform to try and save it. Scream with the headshots brings it to match point for G2.
They talk about his one taps, and that is why, against the oblong range, he's able to make the clutch work. Scream has been absolutely amazing in this tournament so far. He is 26 for 16 right now. He's top fragging for his team. He is doing more than pulling his weight at the moment. Now, Fnatic up against it, but they do have a buy at the very least, and they can get all the AKs, all the nades. They can't quite afford to have an AWP unless they were to sacrifice Kevlar or some grenades as well. And G2, all they have to do is win one more, and Fnatic not really looking at a default here straight away. They're actually all towards tunnels at the moment. So usually either because the team wants to push tunnels quickly or because they're expecting a push from the CTs in tunnels, but they're going to walk in. Olof gets the very key entry frag. Scream now will rear his head, but his head will be shot straight off by Fnatic's olofmeister. And now G2 have to go for a 3 versus 5 retake.
Yeah, and their money's in an interesting situation here, so let's see what they go for. shox is in the middle of the site. What is going on here? Trojan Horse going to get taken down on a trade, but it's only a one-man advantage here. That said, the rest of the CTs seem to be going for a more conservative option. They're trying to hold on to what they have, so maybe they can mount an offense in the next round as well. shox taking a gamble there close to the site, and he's done good damage to these Ts as well, so at least there's that. 13 to 15 coming shortly. Look at those rounds in a row. There's 8 rounds in a row, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 8 rounds in a row there. We see lots of plants coming in for Fnatic as well, but G2 have been superb on the retakes, but not this time.
Yeah, that's really amazing as well, because it can be very difficult on a map like Dust 2 to be able to be so successful with the retakes. It has, there's a lot of conditions that you need to get, and G2 are so good at doing that. You have players like shox who are very, very patient and when they have very forward positions, and they're also very cognizant of knowing when to give up space to strengthen the retake instead of fighting too hard for a site when they have too many disadvantages. Like these very basic concepts in Counter-Strike, G2 have really been nailing, and that's so beautiful to watch. Beautiful Counter-Strike from them. And now it's going to be a pretty strong buy. We've got 2 AWPs for them. And right now, Fnatic looking like they want to go for a delayed long take. And to defend that, we've got RpK and SmithZz to stand the test.
Only one person over towards B for Fnatic at the moment. Again, G2 just biding their time, not going to be overly aggressive in a very critical situation for both teams. These double snipers, see the warning shots being fired by bodyy, making sure nobody's creeping onto the site through that smoke. Can be very dangerous with pop flashes as well. RpK playing close to the smoke. That will help him avoid any flashbangs that look to come in here for Fnatic. And again, those timely Molotovs ruining the timing here for the Fnatic side. The 1 minute mark, another smoke goes down. That pretty much means no long push unless Fnatic are feeling suicidal.
Yeah, I mean, they can still wait it out, but as you say, the smoke went down in 1 minute, so they're only going to have 40 seconds by the time that they're attacking long. And that's kind of the problem there, because they might not get long straight away. That might take another 10, 15 seconds, and all of a sudden, by the time you get to the bomb site, you've got 5 seconds to plant. So they go in at 40 seconds. Let's see if RpK can get some damage, and he's got SmithZz to help him out as well. RpK not spotted yet. The first frag comes in, not quite the second. SmithZz, though, he's got the bomb down, and there is more to be done. He's got the oh, he gets another one! And there's still going to be shox who's waiting to stop the push. They have 20 seconds to plant, and the bomb is lost. Fnatic have lost the bomb. They can't win the round now.
olofmeister alone, 1 taps in reverse there onto Scream. He's got 2 more to fight, but 10 seconds. He can't win the round. The CTs are running away. This game over, Dan. G2 have eliminated Fnatic in spectacular fashion. G2 with a dominating performance on Overpass, bringing it back after a very good start here from Fnatic on Dust 2, looking ever dangerous. Where is the ceiling for this team? It is very unknown at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with G2 is just the transformation that they've gone through has been amazing. There was that 2-week period where it was all about shox and Scream playing out of their minds. Then they kind of lost that consistency a little bit, but they've come back even stronger. We're seeing renewed structure, we're seeing renewed strategy, the tightness of the tactics and the team play and the communication right now in this tournament at the very least, has been stellar from G2, and I can't wait, frankly, to see more.
Yeah, they've improved on such a small levels. Lots of small details being changed and upgraded for G2. Well, maybe we can get more information on that from SmithZz on stage with one of the G2 players.
Congratulations, KRIMZ. Your team is moving on to the grand finals for the second time this year, both times in London. And you have done so 2-0 over Fnatic. You must be so proud of your team.
Yeah, I'm really proud of my team right now. I don't know what to say, but I'm really happy we beat Fnatic since Olof is back. I really wanted this and we made it, and it feels good to be in grand final again.
Now, beating Fnatic is one thing, but on Overpass, which was Fnatic's pick, you guys absolutely demolished them. In fact, that score, 16-2, is the worst score that current Fnatic lineup has ever suffered. So, I mean, what the heck happened there?
I think they just underestimated us by picking this map. We're really good on it, and we only had good results in practice. So we were really confident, and we played perfectly, so it went really good.
And when it came to Dust 2, Fnatic did hold the lead for a lot of that map. And then at one point, it seemed like G2 just flipped a trigger, and you guys got like 8 or 9 rounds straight in a row. So what changed there?
Yeah, we had a really bad start, but I don't know what really happened, but we managed to come back, and that's the most important.
Now, in the grand finals, you'll be facing either Luminosity or TSM. I know that with either of these teams, Luminosity, you faced them at the finals. The last time was a very close series. TSM is the huge underdog of this whole tournament, so what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I really want to play against Luminosity in the final, so we're going to take the revenge from last time.
All right, then. Well, congratulations again. It will be G2 moving on to the grand finals here at the ECS Season 1 CSGO Finals.
Thank you very much, SmithZz. Congratulations to G2. I think an unexpected, although maybe not for G2 fans and folks that know how well obviously that roster is moving up, but that's an upset. There's no doubt about it. And again, we've talked about Fnatic wanting to take LG, the title back from LG. Not going to get a chance this weekend at all.
Yeah, definitely was a barn burner, Scott, as you'd like to say. Just that Fnatic was in the barn and G2 just locked all the doors and wouldn't let them out.
Burned it down.
I mean, I didn't have time, obviously, to give my predictions. The game already started, but I would have said 2-0 for G2.
Of course you would have. Of course you would have.
Obviously, prediction of my life. Yeah, but jokes aside, I mean, it was an incredibly dominant performance, yes, especially on the first map.
Yeah, no, and I mean, coming into that game, I was just talking good about olofmeister, right? And you can clearly see that when olofmeister is not in the game, they just get demolished. 0-11, 1 assist, no impact whatsoever for the first 12 rounds. Yeah, sure, picked it up a little bit in the end of Overpass, but then it was way too late. Just utter dominance coming in from G2. Switching over to Dust 2, it looked a lot better for Fnatic. I mean, that 4 kill in the beginning for olofmeister, the pistol round, I was like, okay, he's back. He had an off game, but he's going to be back now. And he was. I mean, he played great throughout that Dust 2 game. But it just feels like Fnatic, they seemed extremely rusty. Missed smokes. After plan positioning were very off. Lack of time. And just everything just fell apart for Fnatic. And obviously for G2, we were talking about the 3 members on that crew that will make an impact. And RpK, Scream, and shox all play great throughout these 2 maps. And then Dust 2, that's SmithZz home field, right? So they have 4 players, I think, above 20 frags on that Dust 2 game. So no wonder they could actually come back from that and just make comeback on their CT side.
And again, jumping into Overpass, again, probably not a whole lot to talk about from you in the sense of strategy. Obviously, a very one-sided game. But what do you got for us on that one?
I mean, it was extremely one-sided, obviously. And yeah, Robin pointed out Olof as he obviously struggled. And, I don't think it would have changed much if he had a slightly better game because they were just being dominated all across the board. But here you can see that he was, really struggling, losing duels as well throughout the map. And actually, Scream, shox, and RpK, the 3 of them, all had more than 100 ADR after this map. It's average damage per round. And I'm not really sure. I wish if there was a way to my friend Peter from HLTV, if he's watching, to see if there was, in a semi-final of a major tournament like this one, if there was a similar performance by 3 players from a single team. Because that's sheer dominance, and there's not much Fnatic can do with that type of a performance against them. But to be fair, I just felt that like they were still asleep. G2 came out all guns blazing on the T side, and Fnatic were just completely out of it.
And we would normally even look at that first side and go, okay, well, 13-2, all right, no big deal, Fnatic. They were not that Fnatic second side comeback team at all.
It was way too. I mean, it was way too much too late.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, Fnatic. I mean, that's the thing about being a professional team, right? Even if you end up losing that first map, you know, you always reset, you come back, and we saw that. It's just, I mean, today G2's just actually throughout this weekend, G2's just been playing great Counter-Strike, and if you don't show up in the beginning of it, then what are you going to do? You can just end up losing, and like I was saying, just extremely sloppy play from Fnatic.
Teams they always have their own, you know, thoughts, obviously, and ways when they go into the veto process. But I was surprised that Fnatic went for Overpass instead of maybe Cobble, because that's a map that Fnatic plays more than Overpass, and it's also a map that G2 has been struggling on at this tournament. At least they had that big loss against Liquid. So for me, it would have been a 50-50 game in a sense that, you know, Scream said that the Overpass is really strong for them. They're been doing really well in practice, but you know, we obviously can't know that. So they took a gamble there in a way, but the way they played on Overpass, I think any other map would have ended differently.
Now, obviously, second map just too much closer. Definitely had a game on our hands again. G2, though, never really, you know, gave up. And obviously, what do you got out of that one?
I feel that there it was where Scream really stepped up and was the man of the match for me, because they were losing, I think, 8-1 in the first half. G2 was, and then Scream had that ace round basically, and the clutch as well, which really propelled them to come back into the game. They won 3 or 4 rounds consecutively after that, and they had enough room to play with in the second half.
Do you have a particular round you want to walk us through? Or no?
This one is towards the end of the game, actually. It was when Fnatic had a 4v3 after plant, and you can see that Dennis is by himself aggressively on the ledge here, and you can also see the player from CT can also see his shadow if he's standing in this place, so he's gonna just get pre-fired, and there's not really a reason for him to play this aggressively, at least in my opinion, because they already have the numbers advantage. The plant is already secured. They could just play the numbers and play it a bit more passively. The problem they have here, and which they had when they were taking the A bomb site, is that they only had cat control, right? They didn't have a lurker towards long, so maybe they felt that they were losing a bit of control, so maybe he felt a bit pressured to make a play, because they lost a couple of retakes. So now we can play it out. Even after he dies, 3v3 after plant, still a solid position for the T's, but now they're in this weird setup. JW, actually, before he dies here, he kind of wanted to move back towards the site. I don't think that, you know, they were, are we going back? Okay, let's go for cat, we have to be there. And that setup, once JW dies there and he's flashed, I mean, he's in an open position. Once he dies there, the body just pre-fires the stairs position, because it's a pretty common setup. And the round after this, actually, Fnatic goes for the same thing, but they actually have KRIMZ on long too, because they felt that they need to have some pressure, they need to have a lurker in a round like this. KRIMZ actually gets the kill and ends up in a 1v1 with Scream. Bomb is planted for long. KRIMZ has an op, but Scream just peeks from the site and then kills him with an M4. It's a really insane shot to make, and shows how Scream was really on fire this map.
Yeah, they even, I mean, Fnatic, even on their T side, they actually tried to do somewhat of fakes, right? I mean, I think it was the KRIMZ round as well, where they actually ended up faking out long, and that's when RpK was just stationed there. He was not a part of that retake whatsoever, because he had to stay, because he knew that they had a member there. So Fnatic, every single time they come into their bomb site, they get the bomb down, and then just bad positioning. That clip you just showed as well, they have cat control. You don't have to actually stand on the ledge. You can just stand, and if they run up towards a slope, you can just actually take it from catwalk instead. But instead, you put yourself in a situation that, you know, you're gonna end up dying, and then 3-on-3, then, you know, it's way open. Yeah, sure, bomb is down, but it's just very sloppy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, our Jason Bourne MVP of the match is actually going to be Scream this time. Kind of walk us through some of these highlights.
Yeah, definitely, as we pointed out in the beginning, he was our player to watch, simply because, as we will probably see in most of these highlights, he just has such crisp aim, and when it comes to playing a Fnatic, you are definitely going to have your hands full when it comes to aim duels, and he was on point throughout the series, especially on Dust 2 when it mattered the most. Even in the pistol round, he got these crazy entry kills. Unfortunately, they lose the second round to the Fnatic Tech 9 buy, and that's where I thought, okay, this is like classic Fnatic. They lose the pistol round, you think that the other team is going to come back and close out the game, but they managed to bring it back, and this is where we're going to go to map 3, but G2 just said no.
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for this segment, but before I let you go, Robin, because you're going to actually get some other business to do here, Lurpus is going to come take your place for the next 2 matches. I want to get your thoughts on the next matchup. which is going to be obviously TSM taking on Luminosity.
Yeah, I actually don't think that that's going to be too much of a one-sided affair. If TSM shows up the way they have been throughout this weekend, I think they might actually go close. I still think it's going to be 2-0 Luminosity, but I don't think it's going to be, you know, 16-3, 16-4. I think they might actually at least give them a run for their money. So then, sure, since G2 won here, we're going to see that ESL Pro League rematch and G2 and Luminosity, but I think Luminosity will edge them out.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. That's going to do it for this segment. When we come back, our second and final semifinal, Luminosity taking on TSM, the last North Americans. Are they going to have an upset, or is our #1 team going to move to the grand finals? Be back in a few.
Do you play